I have a couple of theories that I think have a. I mean, I can't say for sure this is what happened, but I think there's a concerning. I believe the threshold of enough evidence for it to be at least very concerning and worth investigation has been more than met in this situation. So, my theory is that on July, on or like either July 2nd or July 1st, because it was around midnight when he was admitted to the hospital on July 2nd for cardiac arrest. My theory is on July 2nd or July 1st, he may have been poisoned intentionally. And I say that because there's a lot of, based on the medical records and based on what I'm able to figure out so far, that seems like the only, or specifically antifreeze poisoning seems like the only diagnosis that would encompass everything going on here. And if you don't know, antifreeze in America is most oftentimes the formula will mostly be ethylene glycol with a blend of usually much less, but still a significant enough amount of methanol. So methanol, and there's usually like up to 20% methanol, I believe, in these blends of antifreeze. And at least in America, I don't know how much that differs in different countries. It can be up to 80 or sometimes even 90% ethylene glycol, though, in these mixtures. So that would be like the most common chemical stew that you would be seeing in a patient with antifreeze poisoning. And my secondary theory, which there isn't as much solid evidence for, or at least not that I have been able to interpret, it's a very slow process for me to gradually go through all of my dad's test results and get to a point where I'm feeling confident enough to try to even attempt to not, I don't want to say interpret that because that's just like, but I just need to be able to learn how to understand what's being said in his medical records. And so it's been a long process. And I know a lot more about the last few days of his care compared to the rest of his care, honestly. So I have a much more solid grasp. I feel much more confident about my understanding when it comes to his test results and what they mean regarding the last few days of his life, at least. So I think I'm just repeating myself at this point, but so this is that's very important to keep in mind when it comes to me getting into what my secondary theories are based on honestly a lot of information. A lot of it's circumstantial evidence, and a lot of it is medical records. Which, like I said, I'm not as confident with medical records outside of the last few days of his life. But something that might be important to note also is there's differences in effects of sequential poisoning and acute, like singular events of poisoning, and how that would affect your health, your body functions, and your lab results. Because your body it uses up certain enzymes and processes will get used up eventually after a series of multiple poisoning events. And then that leaves you, eventually that'll leave you more and more vulnerable and your body less and less able to adequately cope with an acute toxic event. So that explains, or I think that might be a possibility to explain test results at each suspected poisoning event, if that makes any sense. So this one I went back to, this is still the hepatic, we're still looking at the hepatic panel. Same person. But now we're looking at the all data available, which is from the time of his motorcycle crash on August 4th 2022, all the way until his death. Nearly a whole year later. Let's just put those up for now so it's easier just to get the big picture idea for now. So, this is my theory, my secondary theory. I feel like it's possible that he was poisoned at least 3 separate times, and I suspect that at least 2 of these poisoning events was intended to kill him. One of them might have just been to make him sick enough so that they could qualify for benefits or for disability payments. May or may not have, I'm not sure. The timing of the will and the circumstantial evidence actually does suggest that they were all intended to be the final attempt. So this is all data, all data as in from the time of his accident, injuries, which would be on August 4th, 2022, all the way till his death on July 5th, 2023. So just to give you a quick idea of hepatic function panels, here's the alkaline phosphatase. Bilirubin total. They also had a separate result that they listed for bilirubin direct. However, it was always below 0, like not detectable. It said it was always less than 0.2, which I think was their cutoff limit. So basically, it just non-detectable. And then this one is albumin or albumin. I don't know if I say that right. I hear people say it differently. But yeah, here's that for the whole year. And then total protein. I don't know if that's helpful. Okay, this is his hepatic function panels from the time of his cardiac arrest on July 2nd, 2023 to July 5th of 2023. Which shows this is his alkaline phosphatase. His bilirubin total. Okay, albumin, I don't know how to say that. Someone please correct me. Let's see. Where did it start though? Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Wait, what? So then what was this one? Wait, let me see. 2.7, 3.4. Okay. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be lower. Okay. Total protein. Come on. Okay, 5.1 when he was first admitted with a cardiac arrest. I don't know why it was suddenly normal again before going back to the same as before. I wonder who took both of those tests.